with Public Defender Larry Eger. Very rarely do you get a chance in an interview show to have two people who ran against each other get to talk about it, and I get to ask the questions, which is also good. Larry, this is your first time running, first time in the political process. It really was both of our first times. What did you think about the political process and getting out there and giving the speeches, and did you enjoy it, or what did you think about it?
You know, I would be lying if I said I enjoyed it.
So would I.
So it's and I guess I guess sort of the advantage of having a show like this, you've got 30 minutes to discuss issues, and so that's a good thing. What we were confronted with on the campaign is given 1, 2, and 3 minutes to express our entire platform and experience and what the Public Defender's Office does or can do or will do, and so it's almost there's an absurdity about that. So from that point of view, trying to get the message out, the costs involved, it's campaigning is painful, and so it's it's a necessary evil, I guess, within the process itself. But again, I was involved with starting a school some years ago, and people asked me, why did you get involved? And my response was, because I didn't know any better. If you know, I mean, probably if you knew how painful it was, you may not do it again. Right. I mean, I know that you say you didn't run before, but you ran for county judge, and any time you're involved, and any time you put yourself out like that, it's difficult.
That was my practice run for the public defender race. So I didn't really run as seriously as I did for public defender for the county judge race. But so that's why I always consider that my first real campaign. But anyway, talk about looking back on that whole year, because we were basically running for a year. What were 2 or 3 of the most stressful moments? The times when you were just pulling your hair out and you're just saying, "God, I don't know if I really want to do this." Well,
it's funny. I mean, the one hurdle that I wanted to get over was, ironically enough, Tiger Bay. And Tiger Bay only because of the reputation of the organization, and again because, falling back on my mother, she was on the board of directors of Tiger Bay, so many of those people I knew, and most of them knew her, so I felt like there was the ghost of my mother standing over me, and that if I failed there, I would have embarrassed my mother. So that was, I have to tell you, probably one of the biggest hurdles. And then obviously we were discussing during the intermission here, the primary. You say it was a year. I had the pleasure of winning and having to face then Adam in the general election. Right. So I went through 2 elections, and they were both grueling. And it was so it's hard to look back and say there was one part that stands out above all others. It was every day took its toll, and I have to look to the support of my family, my wife, my daughter, who I drove crazy in the process, my son. Mercifully enough, was away in college, so he didn't have to endure the daily rigors of it, and my friends.
If you could pick one thing that you liked the most about campaigning, that you did enjoy about it, what would it be?
Getting to know the people who were involved in the issues. I did become very familiar and friendly with all of our county commissioners, the city, both here in Manatee and Sarasota County. And so you do recognize that the Public Defender's Office touches so many areas of the community, or has the potential to at least, and the issues go well beyond that of just representing the poor. There are a lot of issues that are confronted by the Public Defender's Office right now. In Sarasota and Manatee County, we have the jail overcrowded issue. So with that being a primary issue, are we going to spend $50 million here in Sarasota County and $70 million in Manatee County for jail expansion? And is that the best usage of our monies? One project that I've gotten myself involved with in Manatee County is the development of this mental health diversionary program. We're sort of trying to model this after the Pinellas County program that Bob Dillinger has created over the past 7 years. And that's a program in which you identify and try to treat the mentally ill, as opposed to incarcerating them. And what we find now that we spend almost 1/3 of the mental health budget. We spend $250 million a year just for identifying those who are incompetent to proceed to trial and for competence training, just so they can come back and answer to the charge, as opposed to any effective treatment for the mentally ill. So we even had the department heads say that this is probably the single greatest waste of money in the mental health arena. So these are issues that we can address so that we can better serve not only our clients, but we can enhance public safety because we're taking care of the mentally ill, and we're also reducing the budgets because to incarcerate and house the mentally ill in the county jail, which unfortunately is the #1 housing facility for the mentally ill in this state, at a tremendous cost. So we're trying to save money at the same time.
Right. I definitely think you're on the right track with that. One more question about the election before we get to the issues that confront the Public Defender's Office. Shifting gears, when you had to shift gears to the general election, what was that like? Because I couldn't even imagine the day after. That was the biggest relief for me, was thinking, oh, at least thank God I don't have to now completely do a 180 and shift gears and deal with a new opponent and all of that. What was that like? I mean, did you adopt a different strategy, a different approach? What was it like to go from the primary to the general?
The message was still the same, and that was my experience. And the experience.
But Adam had that experience too.
Well, and as I said, the experience. But you also had experience. I mean, you have to evaluate what the experience is. And Adam had tremendous experience within the office. As a matter of fact, he and I interned together. We had been together that long in the office. His career track within the Public Defender's Office was he wanted to pursue capital cases, and is one of the finest attorneys, I believe, in the area, maybe in the state, and he's cultivated that reputation as well. But his expertise was that in trial work. I took on more and more of an administrative function, going as the division chief, and then and after that I became the chief assistant. So I was always in the courtroom, I was trying cases, but at the same time fulfilling an administrative function. And that's what the role of the public defender is. It's both understanding the courtroom and trials, but at the same time, how do you manage an office that is a $6.1 million budget, has 85 employees covering 3 counties? That's where I cultivated my expertise, I believe, and that's what carried the day.
That was a distinction between the two of you, for sure. Okay, when we come back, we'll tackle some of the issues that confront the Public Defender's Office and the criminal justice system here in Sarasota County with Public Defender Larry Eger.